Okay, so this video is going to be the first in a series of videos where I basically go through all the dungeons optimally and kind of look at all the checks. We start off with the first dungeon in the game, which is Skyview Temple. Now, with Skyview Temple, the first thing to realise is that there's actually two states this dungeon can be in. There's Skyview 1 and Skyview 2. And the differences between those is basically having the Water Dragon scale. So in this current save file I do have the Water Dragon scale, which means that this will be in Skyview 2, so enemies will be in different places, different, there'll be some broken boards, and I'll basically talk about that when I get to it, but, yeah, okay, so starting off from here, the first difference here, in Skyview 2, this is a Dekubaba. I didn't have my shield back. Yeah, this is a Dekubaba, or Quadrababa, I think is their actual name, but in Skyview 1, there's like a bat, and it's like differences like that, right? So, come down here, you know, flash this. Also, if you have bombs, you can just go through these, by the way. It's like, yeah, I don't know why bombs can just go through, what are these called? Trees, but yeah. So in Skyview 2, the boards are broken up there, and there'll be this cutscene. So if you're in Skyview 1, you'll have to go around Norway, unless you have bombs. If you have bombs, you can then blow up the boards from this side. But yeah, yeah. Also, one thing about this cutscene is that this cutscene will actually enable the Gorko Goddess Wall check, which I'm not going to go over because it's like in the sealed grounds, it has nothing to do with this. So yeah, and so yeah, it's like there are normally some boards here in Skyview 1. If it's 2, you can just walk right through them. But there'll be boards here in Skyview 1, and you can use bombs to break them. But if you don't have bombs, you need to go down here, basically. And you basically hit that switch with any projectile, and you go in there and you do like an eye puzzle. It's not that hard. It's just I'm not going to show off because I don't need to. Okay, so with this room, I like to do the left side first. Also, another difference between Skyview 1 and 2. There wouldn't be these what are they called? There wouldn't be these frog people things in Skyview 1. And I like to do the left side first because I think it's slightly faster. Although you can do the right side if you want. It doesn't really matter that much. Bro, I'm gonna die, aren't I? Fuck. Okay, also this guy's in there in Skyview 1, so yeah. So if you have claw shots, you don't actually need to raise the water here. I'll show that in a minute. But if you, if you don't have claw shots, then you'll need to raise the water like I'm doing right now. So you basically have to shoot that, and then the water will raise. And I'll explain why I'm doing this all in a minute. So jump over here, basically. Yeah, swing on these vines and stuff. Yeah. Also, yeah, those spiders are there, both in Skyview 1 and 2. And there's the first chest, which this is the map chest. But in this case, it has keys. Nice. Okay, so how do I want to do this? If I have mitts, then what I'll do is I'll do this. I'll basically go in through this way. Because, I can. But if you don't have mitts, then you can just claw shot to there. This is why we don't need to raise the water, because this is log. And if you have claw shots, you can just, I died, nice. If you have claw shots, you can just claw shot to there. Nice, thanks game. I died trying to explain something. Anyway. Oh, now where were we? Okay, so. Okay, go through here. So yeah, there is one, even though entering Skyview, you just need a projectile item. There is a few checks that's locked by one item. I don't really know why I'm raising the water because I have claw shots. Yeah, if you have claw shots, you can just claw shot those vines, but here we are. But yeah, now, there's going to be a ding spot here, which is hard locked by mitts, but logically locked by scale. Okay, PPs. Actually, I'm going the wrong way. So yeah, once you do that, you can go over here. If you have scale, you can just go up here already. If you don't have scale, you have to go around the other way. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So in Skyview 2 there's that guy, but in Skyview 1 there's a spider here, and you know, a hanging spider, so it's not hard. Okay, so yeah, also that was the digging spot. And this is the 2 eyes check. Which has the boss key. That's cool. Yeah, there's like lots of different variations of ways you can route that right room. The way I did it probably is not optimal by any means, but I mean, it got the job done, so that's all that matters. Okay, I'll just kill you because you can sometimes be annoying. Yeah, in Skyview 1 he's not there. In Skyview 1 there's instead 2 spiders, like either end of this room. If you run you can easily run around them. They're just hanging, and they're not that bad. So in Skyview 1 here is a mini-boss room, but in Skyview 2 it's just the chest. The mini-boss itself isn't that hard, you just kind of slash and spin attack. It's fairly straightforward. Small one bag, nice. Okay, so I'll go around this way. You can go around the other way, doesn't really matter. Now there's this here, behind bars. This time it's a red rupee, so it doesn't matter, but I'll still get it either way. There's 3 ways you can get it. If you have the whip, which is the most optimal way, you can just whip it through the bars. If you have beetle, which is like the logical way you get it, you can just, there's a switch up there and you can just use the beetle to get it. But if you only have the slingshot, you can do this shot, right? Where you stand, I think, around here. It's not that precise, but you stand here, aim kind of right, like where I'm aiming, you shoot and you should hit it. Like that. Yeah. It's not that precise at all. So yeah, there's like most ways you can get that, but beetle is the only logical way you can get that. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is behind 3 eyes check. This is hard locked by the beetle. It's the only check in this game which is hard locked by beetle. And yeah. And if you're smart, you can sometimes know that this will be like a small key or something. In that case, you can do a bit warp, which I'll show you later for demonstration purposes. But for now, I'll do this check as well. Also, yeah, those frogs won't be there in Skyview 1. So yeah, 3 eyes. In this room, there are 2 spiders which will drop down. In Skyview 1, there's just 1 spider. But yeah, just do that. I like to put them that way because it's just easier, I guess. Like, leaving them, they can just be an annoyance, so just kill them the right way. Makes sense. Okay, shoot this down. I just push this block a few times. And be aware of your stamina here, because it's really easy to lose stamina. That should be enough, I think. Yeah. Okay, do the circular thing with the sword. And then boom, behind 3 eyes. Silver ruby. Nice. Okay, so going back, you basically have to kind of hit a switch behind the spider. Let me kill you because you're annoying. 3 ways of doing it. You can use the bow, which is the fastest way if you have it. Nice. Yeah, if you don't have the bow, you can just use the beetle, which you have at this point because this is like hard locked by beetle. There is a slingshot shot that you can do, which is fairly precise, but it doesn't really matter because it's like only a little bit faster. This guy's annoying. Nice, and then just kind of roll past the spider. And slash those, and yeah. Okay, so as I have the keys, right, what I'd do is now I'd go around here and like go through there. I'll kill you anyway, because I can. And these guys, there's like a few ways to get past this. If you have beetle, you can just kind of cut them down like that. And if you have bow, you can cut them down by that. If you have slingshot, well actually, if you just have like, say, nothing, like neither of those items, one thing you can do, right, is you can kill this first guy. It's kind of hard. Then you can drop down here and kind of, yeah, stop, dude. And you kind of shimmy across here. It's somewhat precise in a lot of ways, but it's not too hard. So I'll do that if I have the key. Say, for example, you're in Skyview, right? And you've done everything, and you know that behind 3 eyes is the small key. But you don't have the beetle. What do? Then what I do, right, is I do what's known as a bit warp. Now, back in time is an interesting glitch. If you're a beginner, you might be a bit, like, scared by it. Because it's quite confusing, but most of the iterations of back in time are fairly easy. Especially this one. This one is very easy. So I'd recommend you at least learn it if you're like a new player. So I'd save here, and then I'd die, which is how you activate back in time. I conveniently have bombs, although there's like there's the Deku Baba right over there if you don't have bombs. So, yeah. Like that. Right. So now game over. I'm going to continue and then reset via the home screen, like that. If you're playing on console, you can just use the manual button on the console, which is actually quicker, and you'll see people do. But just for demonstration purposes, I'll use the home menu. Okay, so now we're here. If you have an early game file, or at least a file saved on Skyloft, this next part can be slightly more convenient, where you can like bonk into this tree with that file selected, and the gates will be open. I don't know why those gates are open, but anyway. But if you don't, you can come up here and you can void over these railings. Which is like slower because there's cutscene and everything, but I mean, it still works. Okay, so then you're at this statue, the Upper Academy statue. You're going to select it with the file like this, and you're going to save and start at the same time. And what this does is it saves the coordinates from Skyloft to the Skyview, which is the map we're saved on. So we load into the main room. But one thing you'll notice is that everything in this room is basically unloaded. Like there's none of these bars, there's no those bars, there's no like real enemies. Yeah, basically. And that's why we can just avoid that small key. We will have to reload the room, so we'll have to go through here to defeat the soldier. I think they're called soldiers. Yeah. In Skyview 2 there's 2 of these, but in Skyview 1 there's only 1 of these guys. So yeah. So on Skyview 2, on Skyview 1, there'd be a spider blocking the way, where you can use like the beetle or the bow, or if you don't have anything, you can use like a precise scout strike jump. But obviously in Skyview 2, he's just not here, so I can just go around it. Okay, now these fuckers are kind of annoying. There's 3 ways you can deal with these. You can shoot them with the bow. You can, if you have a hook beetle, you can use the kind of bomb there, which is like the logical way. Or I think bombs also in logic. Or if you have none of these, then you can do a really precise scout strike, which is very risky because like you're really vulnerable here. Like that, and I just killed one of them. But once you kill one of them, it's much easier to deal with. So yeah. But again, using bow is probably the optimal way if you have it. But I showed the scout strike just to know it's like viable. Although that is only viable on hero mode. So if you have, if you're on normal mode, you couldn't do that. Unless you have the true master sword, actually. Yeah, if you have true master sword in normal mode, you can do that. And if you have got a sword in hero mode, you can do that. So, you know, just these vines and stuff. These vines are kind of annoying, but hey. And you know, with just about any projectile, you can, or you can even use a scout strike on hero mode to get those vines down. But if you're in Skyview, you'd at least have a projectile item normally, unless you entered with bombs. In that case, I feel very sorry for you, because bombs in Skyview is hell. Okay, hugs. Going back on the vine is optimal. It can be a little bit finicky. No one likes vines. As I've just shown, yeah. I need to rewatch X's vine tutorial apparently. Yeah, that's what vine should look like. Right, so that was the boss key. Now this is the chest, like next to the boss door. And there's a statue there if you need to save before Gurham. You know, boss key is just, this one's really easy. It's the first one, so it's just a H. And I'll also explain the Gurham fight, as that's important and stuff. And as of now in Skyward, there are no boss key skips, at least none that I'm like aware of. So yeah, finding the boss key is still very much important in Skyward, so it's not like other games I think where you can just skip boss keys. Also, that cutscene's weird because this is Skyview too. Okay, so Gurham, this is a damage-based item, so having a better sword here, like the Master Sword, is really, like, again, he's like, first phase is done in one split attack, when it normally takes 4. So this fight is basically, in the second phase he'll have a sword, and you'll also do that for some initial damage. So he'll do darts, he'll dash towards you, or he'll hold up his sword. And again, with Master Sword, this fight is like, takes 5 seconds literally. But yeah, the second phase is somewhat RNG dependent, but it's not too bad. Because it's like only really darts you have to worry about. So yeah, fairly straightforward fight. And here's the heart container, which is the dungeon map. So nice, we get to see all of the chests in the dungeon room, or boss room, I mean. Also, this door right here is on a timer, so you have to kind of wait for it to go dim. We don't have to wait for it to go dim, but it's like, if you miss it by like 0.1 of a second, well, sucks to be you. You have to wait for the entire next cycle. It kind of works the same like a frame rule does in Super Mario Bros. Right. So one more thing, right? Behind this, there is a goddess cube. So if you have cubes on, you can just hit this. So yeah. Obviously, if you don't have cubes on, you'd have to get it. Okay, so now Sky Strike this. And this is the Ruby Tablet check. And that's basically Skyview Temple.